thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Good morning, Vietnam. Ever seen that movie?
Apocalypse Now?
Yes. I've always wanted to do that on the podcast.
Have you ever seen that movie, Tanner?
Good Morning Vietnam or Apocalypse Now?
Isn't it from Apocalypse Now?
Well, it's from Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams.
Oh, don't they say it in Apocalypse Now?
I've never seen Apocalypse Now, but if they do, it's because it's off of.
Okay.
It's an old movie. It's Robin Williams, one of his probably earlier.
I've never seen that movie. I can tell you that.
But that's if they do say it in there. That's what it's really catchy from that movie, and a lot of people.
They probably said it actually in Vietnam. Like they probably did say that.
Well,
so every movie that says it is probably
from.
historically accurate.
Especially the movie called Good Morning Vietnam.
It does make the most sense in that one. I made the mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake, but the only time I've seen Apocalypse Now is I rented on DVD, so this is already
from Redbox.
No, a video store. So aging it even more. I rented the director's cut, which I think it's already like almost a 3-hour movie, and that pumps it like well over the 3.5 hour mark, which is a really long movie. And then on top of that, I started at like midnight. So yeah, that one was a trip, man. That takes some time.
I don't even know what that movie is. I don't even. I've heard of it. I mean, I've heard the name.
Okay, I could be totally wrong here, but I believe, what's Charlie Sheen's dad's name? Why can't I think of his name?
Martin? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not right.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen? Is that it?
I don't know. That's what I said, but I might be wrong on that.
God, we're probably just sounding so stupid right now, Tanner.
What else is new?
But I'm pretty sure it's him. I'm butchering this. I honestly don't remember. They go into the jungle. One guy's like a prisoner of war.
Okay.
He like go into the jungle and actually like the people have like worshiped this man as a god, and he's like, it's like a psychological thing.
Would you recommend it, or?
I mean, it is widely considered to be one of the best movies of all. Or not. I think one of the better war movies ever made. Movie. I shouldn't say the best movie of all time, but
have you ever watched Full Metal Jacket?
Oh yeah, I've seen that one lots. I could tell you what that one's about very easily.
Full Metal Jacket.
I've seen that one a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is episode 274 of the Massenomics podcast. If you haven't figured that out yet by this conversation we've had,
we do really bad summaries of war movies.
Have you ever seen Jarhead?
I have actually. I went to that in the theater. That's
really.
God, that has to be from like 2007 or 8, isn't it?
I bet. Yeah, I would put it in there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Saving Private Ryan's good too, Tanner.
That's
I don't know
good.
If
Tom Hanks. Yeah. What's Pearl Harbor? Was the movie called Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck, or was it called something else?
I think it was called Pearl Harbor. Was it Ben Affleck in that one?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I never saw
Armageddon.
That one.
He was in that one. Not exactly a war movie, but
well, it was to war. They're going to war against a rock there.
You got to go to war on that rock, brother. 274. We're live in the studio here in Western Northeast South Dakota. My name's Tanner.
And my name's Tommy.
Should we hear from a sponsor today, Tommy?
Do it before we forget.
Okay, let's hear from our sponsor. Let's hear from Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At that time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them and calling them the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house. With the best knurling, it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and snatch and snacks. Powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit them at texaspowerbars.com. Buy yourself a squat bar, deadlift bar, traditional Texas Power Bar, all kinds of good bars. I love them.
Thank you for that ad, Tanner. All right, I have some real-time follow-up here.
Okay.
The world just made so much more sense to me. I know what I was thinking of. The quote I was thinking of was, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning."
Right.
That's Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's already making way more sense.
Yeah.
And then a quick synopsis on Apocalypse Now, Tanner.
Yep.
Vietnam, 1970. Martin Sheen takes a perilous and increasingly hallucinatory journey upriver to find and terminate Colonel Kurtz, played by Marlon Brando.
Terminate.
Increasingly hallucinatory journey upstream. You have my attention.
Yes.
Tanner, we have a lot to talk about.
We
today.
do have a huge episode here ahead
I
of
do
us.
have to say right off the bat, also more follow-up from previous episodes.
Yeah.
I have spent a fair amount of time really
digging into barbecue sauces.
Really digging into barbecue sauces, and I can give Uncle Gary's mustard twang and cock sauce my seal of approval.
I have more follow-up.
Well, just wait.
No, this is important to know. Uncle Gary is his uncle.
Oh, it is.
It is. So it really is Uncle Gary. No, it is. It really is Uncle Gary.
Is it his very own mustard twang?
Yeah, I guess so. That's
awesome.
I just we talked about it just the other day, and it turns out I was like, oh, I didn't realize that's actually your uncle. You know, usually
I thought it was just a fictitious character.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
He said, no, it's his Uncle Gary.
Well, I'll start with the cock sauce because that one got sent to us first. It is one of the more unique barbecue sauces I've ever had. I don't know if someone put it in front of me if I would immediately be like, that's barbecue sauce, because it's not like, to me, it doesn't have the traditional barbecue sauce flavor.
Yep.
But what really did it for me is I went over to old Flying Ryan's house and he made some wings with that, and they were so damn good.
Nice.
I would just went over for like a little
Did he
lunch.
like the cock sauce too?
He did. He did. That's what he made it.
Yeah.
And it was, I thought we went over for like a lunch on a Friday. I thought it was, it's just going to be a light lunch. And I put down like 15 wings. I couldn't stop on them. And plus he made pizzas too. So I'm just like smashing pizza and wings.
That's the cock sauce for you.
It was amazing. And then, I've been hitting the Uncle Gary's mustard twang pretty hard. It's doing it for me, man.
Nice.
So all good news to report there.
Grant's actual Uncle Gary.
That guy knows a thing or two.
Yeah. About a thing or two. So good barbecue sauce follow-up.
Good barbecue sauce follow-up for sure.
Excellent. What do we want to talk about next? I know we have a can this week. I don't know.
I know. Okay, maybe we should do the can first, Tanner.
Okay, sounds good.
So this is a special can. This is a special what's in the can.
Okay.
Tanner, get that bandana on, suit up. We're going in on this one.
Suit up.
So I will say that this one was mailed in. This one arrived on my doorstep yesterday, and it's
So it's hot off. It's hot off the
press. Okay. But fresh off cold ice too, you could say.
I know you don't like How I Met Your Mother, but Barney does like to say "suit up." That is one of his catchphrases.
Yeah, he does wear that suit all the time, doesn't he? Okay, Tanner. The
early 2000s were a crazy time.
Here is your can. Yours, just looking in shipping, yours would get slightly dented, but it's not too bad.
I feel some.
There you go, right there. Okay. And I have not tasted this yet either.
So this is a fan.
This is a fan submission,
and I'm using my charcuterie board here from Big Kyle.
I like that idea. And this one's got a little story behind it, Tanner.
Well, it's a brewski, isn't it? I'm going to say it's a brewski.
You are detecting some alcohol. That is correct.
Or is it a beer? Is it a beer?
It is, in fact, a beer.
Okay, I was going to say it's got to be a beer. It's a good beer.
Were you between beer and cherry Coke?
This has got to be vanilla cherry Coke. It's a good beer. It's not the traditional crispy boy. It's
like a full body boy.
Well, this is I really like this. It almost has a little, I'm not great at my beer. I'm not great at knowing my beers and stuff, but like almost like a summery ale type of flavor to me. That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Okay.
No idea what it is exactly here, but it's a brewski and I like it. This is a brewski up my alley.
Well, why don't you take a look at the label, Tanner?
All right.
He is pulling it out of the koozie as we speak. Turn it around to the front.
Who's Judd Who's inspired.
So this is
Who's Juice.
Who's Juice, which is Judd Who's. Great name, right?
Yes.
So
that is awesome.
And this is Who's Juice, Judd Who's inspired Juicy India Pale Ale by Remedy Brewing Co. out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And it's a 6.5% alcohol. It's as far as an IPA goes, it's definitely not a harsh one. Like if I was,
this is.
I like IPAs,
this is
but
my kind of IPA,
if I was gonna,
actually.
if someone was like, I don't really care for IPAs, I need to ease into it, I'd say this is a great one to go with.
Ready to crank it up? This refreshingly flavorful IPA inspired by the South Dakota rock band Judd Who's is packed with tons of hoppy and hazy deliciousness. Our art is beer. Please enjoy it with us.
So
more follow up on Judd Who's. They're going to be playing in Brentford, my hometown.
Oh, are they really?
In July here. So I'm hoping to make the trip to.
They gave you the backstage passes.
Yeah. I'm hoping I could get on stage. And,
so this was
into the microphone for like an hour for everyone.
They're like, our opener is coming out.
Tanner and Tommy.
Hey, I'm just gonna give everyone a 10,000 foot view here of what's going on tonight. Boo! Just throwing cans at us. So this is sent over by Big Chris of Judd Who's.
Yeah,
I got this on my doorstep last night. I didn't know what it was. He just said he's going to be sending a package. And at first
awesome.
I didn't even know if it was a beverage. I wasn't going to open it, but I did see on the box it said Big Tommy put on ice. So I'm like, okay, I got to open this and put it in the fridge. So I saw the name and I'm like, awesome. They nailed that. Who's Juice?
That's killer. That's radical. I love it. I love it.
I give this four
this
and
is
a half.
Yeah,
cool
this
beans.
is a good beer. This fits my personal taste in beer really, really well. Like this is something I could drink many of and keep enjoying it.
We got Tanner, we've said this before, but we really got to work on our beer.
We really do, don't we? This
beer,
really makes you think it, doesn't it?
It really does that. We need a beer collaboration.
Yep. Well, here's a Sioux Falls company right there.
Yep. Actually, you know what? I kind of have this could be an in. I kind of have a connection to another one I could mention. Okay. I could mention off air to you, Tanner.
All right.
Okay, I'm trying to think if we want to talk about your meat now or talk about one more silly little thing.
What
do you think, Tanner?
Yeah, maybe a silly little thing.
Silly little thing. Okay.
We can just talk about the meat leading up into our guests.
Since we're on the topic of all...
I have a lot of things to say about that.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you. Since we're on the topic of all things South Dakota, Tanner, something was brought to my attention today that I didn't know existed. And it made me laugh hard. And I don't know how much we can actually play on the podcast without it like flagging. I don't think we'll get flagged for anything because we don't monetize we don't have YouTube ads on, do we, on our thing?
We don't.
So I don't think we'll get monetized. I don't think we'll get hit on that. Plus, this is a really low key song, so I'm not sure that
it's popping up.
I'm not sure that it's even popping up. So, okay. God damn, there's so many things listed here. Here we go. Tanner, have you ever heard of a man named Afroman?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Afroman went through the white land and houses went up for sale.
You know, classic hits like Because I Got High and Colt 45 and Two Zigzags, Palmdale, all these classics.
All good songs.
Mostly came from one album in 2001.
If you didn't just sit around and drink beers with your buddies and scream those songs, did you really live?
No, you did not. And if you didn't listen Because I Got High when you were in like fifth grade and not really get totally what was going on. But so believe it or not, Afroman's still pumping out music. He has a pretty deep discography on Spotify. Can I get that chord from you there?
Oh, yeah.
He has a pretty deep discography on Spotify. And today someone brought to my attention a certain album he had. Came out last year, 2020. I'm just assuming this flew under the radar because of COVID, you know, with everything going on.
With everything going on, yes.
But this album, what's so great about it is it's called Cross Country Pimpin'. And the song names are In California, Wyoming, Pimpin', Pennsylvania, Oregon Girl, Nebraska, Homegrown, Alabama, Idaho, Fun in Washington. And the last song on the track on the album is South Dakota. And the man knows his geography is all I can say, Tanner. He also knows how to put a nice, smooth Hotel California cover on. But we won't play the whole thing here.
It is,
but we'll let the sweet vibes take us over for a minute while we're enjoying this South Dakota themed IPA.
After this, could we do Colt 45 and Two Zigzags?
It's all part of the plan.
I tried to fuck a girl from Sioux Falls. She texted all night and gave me blue balls. A dick teaser skeezer from the city of Bitch, you rapping to the girls in Rapid City, but they left rapidly. What a pity. Almost got a blowjob in Pierre, but she said I had too much pubic hair. I took my Blackwood to Whitewood, didn't know quite.
I don't even know.
I got a room in
I just know from State Youth Basketball.
Says she's from Lead, but she won't
Lead.
Lead.
He just saw it on a map
and Pierre,
Yeah.
or Pierre,
Yeah.
Pierre, you know, South Dakota insider there.
give me no head. I told her let's drink and smoke on this. Maybe later I can spear your fish. She denied all of my urges, just like all the pretty girls in Stir.
And here's
there an
where it gets
Aberdeen?
good.
Okay.
I'm beating my meat at the hotel in South Dakota.
That's great, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is good. Is there ever an
Such a
Aberdeen?
lonely
Like,
place, such a lonely place. No women on my space. I'm beating my meat at the hotel in South Dakota.
it is really Afroman-y.
What a hook, huh?
Yeah.
Any time of year.
Okay, here we'll-
In Brookings, but the girls were not full keen. Tried to dick your daughter down in Watertown, but it was too many cock blockers hanging around.
Maybe the most South Dakota song ever made. For
good.
people that aren't aware, these are all South Dakota cities. He's nailing it. Okay, I think we're at Aberdeen right here, I think.
I thought I had a queen in Aberdeen. This rejection is fucking up my self-esteem. Rush me a whore to Mount Rushmore.
Nice. You know what I feel like he's doing with that album? Like,
It's
that
just trying
song's only good for the... It's like, here, I'll put out these 15 songs.
He's just
and like
hoping
8
it'll go viral, like,
Right,
in those-
right. In that state, they're just going to love it.
Yeah, and that it's funny, and I'm sure I didn't even listen to any of their songs. I'm sure they pretty
It's
much all do the same
yeah,
thing.
it's the same thing.
And
yeah.
I mean, the man's career definitely had its hits in 2001 with the Good Times album.
Yeah.
Because I Got High, crazy. Just the songs in that are also they're good. But yeah, man, Afroman,
He's back.
he's still
Don't
kicking,
call it a comeback.
still
He
kicking.
ain't never gone.
But it is funny because like Colt 45 and Two Zigzags it has 167 million plays. Because I Got High has 105 million plays. That South Dakota song, 30,000. So not quite up there to the same caliber,
Yet.
but
After this
once
PR,
people know
yeah.
about it now, it's going to be blowing up.
Yes.
All right, Tanner, enough of this dilly daddle.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think we got to do
wanna
one
hit
more
an
ad though.
Let's hit him with an ad.
Not
first.
quite done with the dilly
A
daddle.
little more
here.
dilly-dallying first.
Okay, today's show is brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. operates starting strength affiliate gyms out of Southern California. They have a staff of experienced starting strength coaches that know the best way to develop strength through the barbell movements. Grant, the owner of The Strength Co., is a Marine, and he is passionate about obtaining quality American products and labor for all aspects of his business. The Strength Co. makes premium, made in America barbell equipment, including their machined and E-coated plates, and they sell some pretty damn good barbecue sauce too.
Uncle Gary does not disappoint, does he?
Uncle Gary knows what's up. Their plates are functional, easy to handle, accurate, and made to last a lifetime.
They were just he was in Waupaca, Wisconsin.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that.
Foundry.
Yep.
Looked like they're going through
some R&D.
Yeah.
The Strength Co. plates have become the go-to choice for all members at Massenomics Gym. And in case you weren't aware, it was made official in his story. They had the plates, and there was a sign that said Massenomics go-to plates, which is really good. Check out their plates and all their other made-in-America equipment online at thestrengthco.com. That's thestrengthco.com.
Good stuff from the Strength Co.
Okay, Tanner, time to get to business here.
Time to whip out my meat.
You got to get your meat out.
Yeah.
Your meat has traveled to
That's
the far
what this
end.
hole is for.
The meat hole. Your meat has traveled to the far end of South Dakota. It's came
And back
back
again.
with riches and medals and stories and
Yes, I
travels.
raped and pillaged.
Yeah, so you got
the
stuff to
Black
tell
Hills.
us.
I did go do the meet this last weekend. So today we're recording on Wednesday. It was Saturday, about 4 or 5 days ago. So still pretty fresh in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I want to say, and part of my French, but it was so fucking fun. It was just so much fun.
And this is your first meet in,
Then that-
what did we say, 4 years?
4.5, almost 4.5.
Okay.
I kind of did the math on it because I'm like, how long has it been? So I had to look at trusty open powerlifting, and it's just about 4.5 years. And I had honestly, now I realize I had forgotten
How
much fun it is and how much I actually like it. Like, and how much fun the competing in the powerlifting meet is. And now I remember. And it was just, I had so much fun. I rode such a high from that. Like the whole day, it was just like, so, and I did well for myself. So that helps, of course.
That definitely does help when you're not
I can
bombing
honestly say I would have had a fun time even if I would have just had an average day, though. So it wasn't just about like how I did personally. It was just like just being around all the people and cheering for them and them cheering for you and the back slaps and the warm and it looked like there was some Massenomics
fans there too.
Yeah, and let me start with that. That was possibly as cool as anything, is that there was just running into people that were wearing Massenomics stuff there is just so cool to me. Yeah. Like, that is just like the funnest thing in the world, just seeing other people. Big Nate, who I didn't know his name beforehand, he was wearing the Massenomics, same singlet I was. And I recognized him from Instagram. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, I know this guy, because he always wears the Lift Shorts 2.0. And Big Nate went on about how much he loves the Lift Shorts 2.0. And he wears them all the time and loves them. And he was wearing the Massenomics singlet. And then Big Dave from North Dakota was wearing the Bench Heavy shirt. He follows Massenomics and I see him on there. So first time getting to meet him, but just him wearing that around. Funny story, there was a guy wearing a deadlifter hat. Big jacked guy, real jacked, like kind of, where people almost look scary because they're like,
yep.
And he's wearing the deadlifter hat and he walks by me. I'm sitting there talking to some of the other guys I had met already. And I catch out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh, sweet. And I go, hey, I like your hat. And thinking he might know who I am, and he had no idea, would never have known. It's like he's never seen what my face looks like before, would never know what either of us look like. And he just kind of gave me a funny look and was like, oh, thanks. Like, weird thing to say as I'm walking by. And I'm like, oh, I'm one of the guys that owns that company. And then he was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like, I just want to tell you, I love how you guys send those notes out when I get those. Like, you sent me first thing I ordered was a banner, and you sent a note for it, and then this hat, and you sent another note, and it's like, people just don't do that. Like, I thought that was so cool. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, that's
I was like, that was awesome.
Yep.
So that was part of the cool, that was part of it. What I'm talking about, how exciting it was too, is just that Massenomics thing too. And
being around my people.
Yeah. But just getting back to just generally about the powerlifting and powerlifting meets. This was a USPA meet in Rapid City, and
live streamed on Twitch.
I think the live stream was pretty good too. And so it was put on by Big Al at Squat to Depth, Squat to Depth Apparel or Productions or whatever you want to call it, and they do a really good job. Come up from St. Louis, and it was awesome. Like, really cool, great setup. Like, the gym is very small and stuff, and it was cramped in there. Could honestly use more space, but that really just affects the spectators. We had good warm-up room and great platform and good on deck area and all that stuff. But just, I didn't know anyone. No one came with, I didn't know anyone lifting there.
You went solo.
And by the end of the day, I felt like I honestly had like 25 new really good friends. That's what it honestly felt like. It's like, as long as you're willing to just say, oh, hey, where are you from? And what's your name? Like, by the end of the day, you just have like 20 people that...
Yeah, and as long as you don't get unlucky and talk to the one dick that's there.
I didn't find him. Like, he probably was there, but even the people, when you just scope people out and you're like, oh, that guy looks like a dick. All the people that I thought that, by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, no, you're also cool.
Oh, that's
and it's like, well, all these people like the same one, same thing I really like. So it'd be weird if we can't be buddies,
Exactly.
But just really cool people. I just really loved lifting with the people, and so supportive. Like, in the warm-up room, I forgot what it's like just sharing the equipment and just
when people are like, what do you want on here next?
Right. And it's like, and then just getting hyped up for your lifts, like the screaming and like just getting you pumped up of people that I didn't know, 5 hours ago. Just super
getting
cool.
Out of the monotony of just training.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is I kind of had my reservations. I had never really vocalized it going into this meet, that I didn't really know if I had it in me anymore to get that excited.
Well, we were talking not that long ago. You're like, honestly, I could just go to the gym and have no music on, but it'd be really weird.
Right.
We said that not that long ago.
Right. And I kind of like, I also had the thought like, you know, I have a really nice life now and like 3 kids and
it's a
all
hassle.
this other stuff
like,
going on. It's a hassle. And also like, I just was worried I couldn't get in the mental space where I'm like, I am so into this one lift right now. That's what I care about right now, because almost like have all this other stuff going on. And it's all good. And I, you know, it's just like, I just kind of doubted if I could actually
really go to war with the bar,
right? You know, so to speak. You know, like to be over dramatic about it, like actually be that interested or care enough about whether I get it or not get it to get it when it gets really hard. And I found out, yeah, I could still do that, and that was really fun. Like getting amped up for lifts, oh, so much fun, so cool. And as far as the meet goes, I went. Do you say 8 for 8? Like I didn't take a third attempt bench, and 8 for 8 or 8 for 9, however you want to say it. Squats went really good. I squatted.
So we should even say before this goes though that Tanner, your meet prep was going so good, you even had the perfect minor injury happen ahead of time.
Yeah. That's like 10 days before the meet, I strained my right pec a little, like what I thought was at the time really minor, and I kept thinking, oh, this is just going to get better. This will just be fine before the meet. I got plenty of time to rest up and heal. And it never really got much better. It kind of always felt the same. I was always kind of messing with it and feeling it and like bending over and doing a pitch up.
Like this wasn't in the gym either.
No, yeah. I was like moving my trailer around at home and I could feel it like when it happened. I'm like, oh, no, why? Because up till that point, everything was going, I mean, as close to perfect as it could go. And then I had this little injury, and so it was still bothering me even the morning before. I'm like, I don't really know if I'm going to be able to bet. I really didn't know if I was going to be able to bench kind of at that point, like if I was going to be able to bench at all. But so I went through squats, and squats went really good. I actually had bumped down my numbers a little bit from what my plan was. And in hindsight, I should have stuck with the plan.
Why did you bump them down?
Just because in my warm-ups, it being earlier in the day on squats, you know, at like 9-10 in the morning, and like my last warm up, I was like, it was just being a poor judge of it. I'm just judging it myself kind of, and just thinking it was a little slower than what it's really like. And kind of,
which is hard because you don't normally squat in the morning like that. Right. You're in a totally different place.
Different place. And I hadn't been on the platform yet. And also forgetting like what I can get out of the platform too. Like I love it. Like I do better when, like, I think probably a lot of people experience this, but when I'm out there, like I feel it feels different than messing around. And so I did my first and second, and on my third, I went for like 462, which is a meet PR for me. I should have done like a 562.
Okay.
562.
I thought you were all right
on the squat, and I should have done more. I should have done at least 10 pounds more. I probably, you know, like 573 or whatever that number is. I think that would have been a lot better number where I still would have got it, but it wouldn't have killed me still. But I was still happy because that was a meet PR, and you know, and like I got all 3 lifts, and it really moved pretty good, and I was still stoked about that. So that was good. And then bench press was what I was very worried about because
it was initially what you were very excited about.
Yeah, that was the lift going into it where I just knew that I was going to crush my former meet PR. My former best was 440, and I just basically thought in my mind, like, there's no way I'm not beating this by like 20 pounds almost at the least, just because it felt so good. And so I did 418 as my opener. Going through warm-ups in the warm-up room, it felt a little tight, but not that bad. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to bench. So I did 418, and it went really fast. And that would have been my planned opener anyways.
Okay, so you're on track so far.
Yeah, and it's really good. So then on my second, I took 446, which I had picked that because is about in the right range, and also it would be a meet PR. So I'm like, if this is the only bench I do, at least I'm getting a 6 pound PR out of it. And I did it, and it honestly moved really good. It was slower than my opener. And like, it wasn't a grinder, but it was just like I had to push hard enough that as soon as I sat up, I thought, my pec feels very tight from that right now. Like it didn't really hurt while I was going, but immediately when I sat up, I'm like, that's very tight. So I went over, and you got to put your attempt in, and right at the time I'm thinking, I don't know what to do. So I just put my attempt in, which is what I was planning on, which was like 463 or 462, whatever the number is. Then I was warming up a little bit and talking to one big Nick, one of the other guys, Nick Tadlock. He's I've lifted with him a couple other times, and I had him lift off for me and stuff. And I was talking to him. He had actually was in the flight before and just went through the same thing. He had a little bit of a pec injury and didn't take his third. And I was talking to him, and just prior to my third lift, I'm like, I feel really optimistic about the way my deadlift's going to go. If I go hurt my pec on this third one, I am going to be really upset at myself.
Yeah, that is like the worst thing that almost could happen.
Yes. So I had put in my attempt. I went back over there and I said, just scratch it. It was a meet PR.
Yep.
I think I would have benched the 462, 463. Not for the injury. I would have got it for sure. With the injury, there's still a fair chance I would have got it, I think. But I didn't think the risk to reward. Right? Yeah, the risk wasn't worth it at that point because I still felt pretty good. So I just stopped there.
I think that was probably the smart move.
It was. And, the thing about that is that's a move that I wouldn't have probably done 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm down the road.
Most people would pull that move in their first few meets.
I'm maybe most proud of myself for doing that because that was a hard call for me to make because I really wanted to go get the 463 or whatever I was planning on. Mm-hmm. So then deadlifts warming up, and warming up felt awesome. My back over the prep is just a little sore all the time. Like every time I deadlift, the strength felt okay, but I never felt like I could be real explosive because my back is just always a little, kind of like probably what it does feel like when you're deadlifting heavy and training for a meet, and just never felt that good. I'm always a little apprehensive about it. But then you did,
and I did see. I mean, you did have some good training days though, like leading up to it. Like you were hitting big numbers, so things
it was
were
going
the
good.
Right way.
And then with the deload I had taken and stuff, and I felt just spectacular in the warm up room. I'm like, my last warm up I think was 585, and it felt like, as close to nothing as that would feel for me, and it hadn't felt like that in training at all. So like it showed me like the prep and like the stuff, especially for the deadlift, really worked like how you'd want it to for like
the deloading is an actual thing.
Yeah, it really, really benefited me. So I took 622 that moved very fast. Then I jumped to then 622 moved so fast. On squats, I talked about how I jumped it down a peg. Mm-hmm. On deadlifts, I said, I've got to do more because I'm not going to, if I stick with what I'm at, I'm going to leave way too much on there. So I took my second to 300 kilos, which is 661. Mm-hmm. And that's maybe about in the ballpark I thought I might go to. I did that on my second, and that moved good. It wasn't super fast like my 622, but still moved good. And then on my third, I was kind of toying with the idea of 700.
Yep, which you have technically done
I pulled
before.
One time before.
Strongman though,
yeah,
right?
in strongman, but it was just an over-under. It wasn't with straps.
It wasn't? Okay.
No, it wasn't with straps. It was a barbell from the floor with regular plates, not kilo plates would be the difference, I guess. And I wasn't wearing a singlet, but I was wearing no equipment that would be...
Massenomics singlet.
How many
pounds was that?
That's true. But so I here's another thing before I lead into that, why I chose that number. This is interesting. We make a lot of jokes about state records, which I still is a funny thing to me. But I did find out at this meet, the fans and the other people were cheering like really, because what was happening is that Al was the announcer, and he was doing a really good job of getting people excited for things.
Yep.
So like whenever there was a state or a national record, people were like
getting
really into it and stuff. And I'm like, sucking me. And I'm like, I am getting hyped up for this when like they were doing a great job of that really. So I had broken the bench record on my opener. The bench record was really probably way too low for the class. So that wasn't really as big of a deal. And I broke the deadlift record on my second, and you didn't even know what the total record was, but then I'm like, maybe I'm close to that. And I had started to understand, like I had picked up on like, people are really getting into like these records. So I looked at what the total record was, and I saw if I did 689, I would get it by like 3 or 4 pounds. So that's why I picked 689 is just to set the total record, because I knew it would be good extra motivation because people were like pumped up about it.
And people going.
So I come out and he goes, going for a Tanner Baird, Mr. Massenomics, going for total record, Western, North, East, South Dakota state total record. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. So he was doing the, working in the Massenomics shtick all day too. And that's why I picked that number. And that was a hard lift. Also, this is the first time I've done hook grip in a meet. And it did cut open my thumb a little bit, but I locked it out, and that was the perfect number to call. Coincidentally,
did grip feel like it was an issue?
It didn't at all.
Okay.
I didn't notice until after I walked away. But I couldn't have done another deadlift after that, because as soon as I walked away, I'm like, oh, now my thumb really hurts. I wouldn't have been able to.
It makes you wonder how guys like Kaylor Willem are like doing that much weight all the time.
I don't know.
Have hands still.
Yeah, that's a good question. It was funny. So very few people there hook gripped. I don't know if hardly anyone else did, and I thought it was had become a lot more common, and like a lot of people were asking me about it because it was very uncommon.
Probably what's kind of funny is just we have a fair number of people in our gym that do it.
Right. It caught me off guard how so many people were asking me about the hook grip, where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I guess I thought that's what people do now.
I don't do it, but I wouldn't think twice, because most days when I'm in there, the gym, someone is using a hook grip. So it's like became normal to me now.
Right. So I got that lift, and it gave me a total of, I think, 1,697 pounds. So it was 3 pounds short of 1,700. And then you can play all the if and but, and it's I should have squatted a little more. Yeah, but that's complete hindsight.
Yeah. Shouldn't have hurt my pec just slightly.
If I wouldn't have hurt my pec, I probably would have benched 18 pounds more or whatever it was.
Next thing you know, you got an 1,800 total.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
That kind of is the sport of powerlifting, though. It's easy to do that.
And that's the thing that I also is easy to forget about powerlifting for people that don't maybe powerlift in the gym but have never done a meet. You kind of add up what you do at the gym, and that's your total.
In the very best time, the very best scenarios.
On all separate days.
On your cadences and it's not how it works at all.
For anyone that's done a meet before, you max out on all three of those in one long day, with long breaks, and you do it on their time. Mm-hmm. Months in advance, you say, that's the day I'm going to do it. And then, like it or not, that's the day that you've got to do it.
Yep.
So I was stoked. That was a bigger total than just because my deadlift so far exceeded, even with my bench not quite getting to do what I want, my squat just being a little lower. My deadlift made up for it, so it was a bigger total than I thought I was going to get. Ended up being an 85-pound PR total.
That's
for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They should put your face on the average to savage template from now on, Tanner.
It's official.
Did you successfully go from average to savage?
I think that was average to savage.
When you were done, did Greg Knuckles pop up from behind with a diploma and said, "You are now savage"?
So
I guess you can speak to the strength of that program, then, huh?
It worked really well. And then, I really liked it and stuff, but I'm not going to go do another meet like next month or something. I want to do another powerlifting meet again like a year from now. That's kind of what I would like to do. I'm going to chill it a little bit and, do some other stuff, and then hopefully feel really good and do one again in like a year or something, and hopefully do more than 1697.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be
like 1700 even.
If I did another 85 pounds again, that would be spectacular.
Well, I think that's how it goes. You've set the rhythm. Now you just know you just do that every year, and 85 pounds go on every year.
Yes. It was really cool. Someone did ask what they really wanted to know what I ate throughout the day. I don't know why anyone cares, but I had several Gatorades. They want to know if it's Gatorade or Pedialyte. I had several Gatorades. Drank a lot of water.
Though, Tanner?
I like the red fruit punch, the classic
the classic,
Gatorade. Yes, I like the
G2
classic.
or any of that stuff.
No, actually, normally I would drink probably a G2, but I wanted the full effect. I wanted the sugar, honestly.
Yeah, the calories and all that.
I didn't eat very much food the entire day.
It's hard too, though.
I had like those flat square kind bars. Mm-hmm. And a peanut butter sandwich, and then otherwise I had my G2. I bought a Monster earlier in the day and drank like a third of it before squat, a third of it before bench, and a third of it before deadlift, just for straight up for the caffeine. It was an easy way for me to get caffeine. And then I couldn't sleep the night before, so I was first in line at Perkins at like 6 a.m. To eat breakfast. And
you had to beat the church rush.
I couldn't sleep the night before because I was so excited. Then I couldn't sleep the night after because I was still just too excited. So then I've had 3 days here where I've just crashed and just slept great. And my body, I feel really good too.
That's good. to not like just limp out of a meet.
No, my
dying.
pec is a little twinged, but not more or less than it was before. And now I'm just going to take it real easy on that stuff for a while. So it'll be fine soon. The other thing I was going to say is just the support from Massenomics followers on the internet. I can't believe how many DMs I got from people.
Just the
like,
public ones
shit.
that I saw. I'm like, damn, people really do care about Massenomics lifts.
Yeah, so I really appreciated that. I was like, well, I cannot believe so many people care about this. And they probably still really don't, but I just did it. I just did appreciate I did appreciate all the
no, that was obvious
nice
to me.
comments.
Even. Yeah, that was awesome.
So overall,
because it wasn't that long ago, Tanner, where you and me hopped in a car to go to a meet, and outside of me and you and like 3 other people knowing about it, that
nobody
meet
knew
didn't
what it was.
exist.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, that certainly changed. That there's still there's more people there that didn't know what Massenomics was than that did, I suppose, still. But just really cool seeing a lot of Massenomics stuff and people that didn't even know us and were still wearing Massenomics stuff. People that did know us and were wearing it. All that stuff was pretty gnarly.
Sweet.
So I'm pretty high on powerlifting meets again now. I did kind of forget how fun it could be.
We're just so isolated here, Tanner. We joke about it, but we really are just shut off from the physical part of the community.
Yeah, and
outside of our own gym here in town.
Yeah, and there really is a community too. You're like, oh yeah, this is really a really supportive group of people. Like everyone wants to see everyone else do well. Mm-hmm. And there was a couple other just funny notes. There was 2 60-year-old guys competing. One of them did full power. He benched 474.
Wow.
Squatted just a little less than me, like deadlifted over 500, but he benched 474
That's
at
really
60.
Good. Yeah.
Another 60-year-old guy deadlifted 655.
Jeez.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Where are they getting these people from?
And then the one other note, there was a 181-pound, 23-year-old junior that squatted 666. Pretty legit
How
squat.
many pounds you say?
666.
No,
181 class.
Damn.
Pretty legit squat at that
is a very legit squat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not pretty legit, but that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Then there's some couple 500-pound benches, 7+ squats, 7+ deadlifts, and I just like seeing the big, big lifts.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Yeah, it's always fun to see big lifts.
That's about all I had on it. It was really cool.
And meet ran well. And
yeah, really well.
You weren't there from 7 a.m. till 11 at night.
No, it was reasonable time. It was much better than what we've experienced in like our first 1 or 2 that we ever did. And I did get first place in my class. So I think there was 3 of us.
That really matters.
Yes, I think there was 3 of us in ours. There are so many medals that I mean, it is the meme with the medals. Like it is that. Massenomics gave out $100 to the best squat and to the best female squat and the best male squat.
I did like that. Jake wrote, we're trying to award ourselves money, and you said no, best squat, nothing to worry about here.
That's exactly what it's when Al asked what we wanted to use it for. I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever you're the boss. Here's the money. You do what you want. And he's like,
did he say best men's heavyweight bench?
No, he goes, what about squat? And that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's for sure the one that there's no chance that I would have of winning, because I would feel like quite the tool.
No conflict of interest here.
Yeah, and here's the winner, Tanner Baird. And it's like, oh yeah. Yeah. That's about all I got to say about that.
Sweet. So 10 out of 10 would recommend?
10 out of 10 would recommend. 10 out of 10. And I'm a new state record holder, so I got that on my, which is, I would say in the moment, though,
I always say
it
state
was a
records
funny
are
thing.
forever, right?
Yes. Yeah, but state records last a lifetime. Especially
awesome.
South Dakota ones. The most prestigious of state records.
Next thing you know, Afroman's going to be writing a song about you, Tanner.
Yes, I'll be in that song. Should we about get our guest on the horn?
Yeah, I'm going to read an ad, and then we're going to get the old phone line going.
Excellent.
Today's show is brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the SPUD Inc. Strongman Harness. The SPUD Inc. Strongman Harness is built from the toughest material available to pull the heaviest cars, trucks, and planes. Tanner, picks or it didn't happen.
That's right.
With a lower pulling angle than most harnesses, the Strongman Harness gives athletes better leverage and easier breathing. And with a crossed brace point on the backside, the harness stays exactly where you put it, no slipping ever. The Strongman Harness is built to fit athletes of all sizes, from the novice strongman just starting out to the next world's strongest man contender. Check out the SPUD Inc. Strongman Harness online at spud-inc-straps.com.
Good stuff. Sweet. Now we're going to get Big Wes of Snatchin' Snacks on the horn. How's that sound, Tommy?
Sounds amazing.
Here we go.
Hello, hello.
Big Wes, you are on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy.
What's up, Wes?
Awesome. How you guys doing?
We're great.
We're doing really good.
We're great. We're excited to talk to you. We've got a whole bunch of questions, and just for everyone getting a peek behind the curtain, you know, we've never talked to you before, so this is one of those interviews where it's going to be pretty honest.
The blind date's in full effect right now.
Yes.
I love it.
So far, you don't seem like a total weirdo, so I think we might be okay.
You know, we've done a handful of these before where you know, some we've talked to some cartoonists and some other people where they run pages where you really don't know much about the individual behind it. You just kind of enjoy the stuff, the content that they put out, and they've all kind of panned out. So you've got a lot to live up to here.
Okay. That's awesome.
Well, so could you give us you run Snatchin' Snacks, and could you give us the 10,000-foot view of what that is and what that is that you do?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, I got my start as a motion graphics designer. I still work in that industry and have been for the past like 15 or so years. So I basically do a lot of like graphic design for TV and web and whatnot. But the animation stuff I kind of got into once I started working. But I don't know, I got into Olympic lifting, and I guess for some reason I wanted to, you know, felt like I had a creative voice I wanted to share with the fitness world. So that's kind of how the Instagram started.
And so for people that aren't aware, what would you say is kind of your signature thing, or the first thing that you started popping up on people's radar for?
Yeah, so it was definitely the weightlifting stuff. It's funny. It kind of started as like me just wanting to gain a little bit more notoriety in the weightlifting world, like on my personal like Instagram page. And I can't remember why like this specific idea came up, but I thought it would be funny to like put food on the ends of the like barbell, like when somebody was doing like a snatch or a clean and jerk. And I thought that would maybe like, I don't know, like the way that like the process of like tracking it and like the technical part of it, I thought would be kind of easy. So I don't know. It was like something that was easy and fun and you know, different. And I don't know. It was just like sort of a funny thing to like put out into the weightlifting world, and things kind of just like jumped off from there. So it was like, I guess if there was like a signature thing, it would definitely be like, oh, that's the guy that puts food on the barbell. And
And so looking back, like, you know, we went back in your timeline, and I think, is it the very first one? It's the donuts on, what's the guy's name?
oh,
again?
CJ Cummings.
Yeah, CJ. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you have the donuts on there, and it's like, yeah, dude, that's like, I remember when those first started coming out, like those were making the rounds. Like you couldn't go on Instagram or even like Facebook almost and just not run across those videos. Like those were blowing up right away. Like, is that how it actually was, or is that just my perception of it?
No, that's pretty much it. You know, I think I made those first 4 or 5 videos, and they were on my personal page. And my brother, who's a musician, and he's like really good at self-marketing, was just like, oh, you should like make this its own thing. Like just make it its own entity, like on Instagram. And for me, I was just like, oh, these are stupid. Like no one's going to get it. It's dumb. He's like, no, trust me, just do it. And I remember the first day, just putting those first 5 videos up, everyone was like, oh my God, what is this? And so then it just kind of like spun out from there.
So yeah, looking at that, I mean, the videos are all really fun. Like they're like, we're Massenomics. We like fun stuff.
Yeah.
And these videos are all for sure fun. And I got to imagine like they get a good reaction out of everyone that sees them, and probably the people that are in them probably like it a lot too. Like, have you ever gotten like shares or comments from like people that you're like surprised, like you're getting feedback from them?
Oh yeah, totally. And I still get feedback from people where I'm just kind of like blown away. I think that the first big reaction I got from somebody was like the Puros Dimas one. He's like one of the most decorated like weightlifters ever.
He's the really small guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the,
Right. But yeah, I think I think the most that he did was like he liked it or something. I was like, oh man, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
For Pierce Dimas to like the video, like yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have a favorite edit or a favorite video ever that you've put together?
Like of the weightlifting ones, or just
probably of the weightlifting ones. If there's one in particular,
of the weightlifting ones,
yeah.
God, that's a good question because there's definitely a few. Probably the I want to say the Lydia Valentine one where she kind of does the like super Saiyan thing. Well, I guess she's supposed to be Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I don't know where that is in the feed. You might have to scroll back a little bit,
but that's,
yeah,
that's up there for you, that one.
Yeah, that's up there. There's probably I'm probably blanking on some other ones. I can't believe how many I've done already. But
so looking at these, like from I'm in the design space and I know nothing about like motion graphics, things like that. Like it's a completely foreign concept to me. Tanner would probably say none of this makes any sense to him at all.
Yes, exactly.
Like what is like looking at it, like what is your workflow? Like, I mean, are these things taking like an hour to put together? Are they 9 hours to put together? Like what does a video like that take to do?
So it really depends on a few different things. It depends on the angle of the video. Like as far as the weightlifting ones, it depends on the angle because there's a lot of rotoscoping involved. So honestly, that very first one with CJ took a lot longer than the ones that followed. I found that out pretty soon because it's like, okay, how do you put an object behind someone in space? Well, you have to,
right. So it's not just floating over the top of them, or
exactly. So you have to trace them like frame by frame, which is called rotoscoping. And there's like an automated part of that, but there is like a lot of frame by frame work that you have to do just depending on how the footage is and everything. And in the beginning, you're only working with these little like screen recorded videos, off of Instagram, which are really small. So the footage is not going to be that great anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so it, the angle obviously has a lot to do with it. And as far as the rest of the time, I mean, it really just depends on the idea. So, if there's a lot of 3D involved, I might have to like model something in 3D or like, download a model from somewhere and, tweak it or whatever. And, there could be some more, animation added into it. Like I think the Max Lang one where he's like clean and jerking elephants, there's like animation added to the elephants. So, yeah, I mean, it could take anywhere from like 3 hours to, 15 hours. It really just depends on all those different things. The rotoscoping definitely takes, that's like some of the heavy lifting, depending on the angle of it. But
right. So,
yeah, it's all over the place, really.
Okay. And yeah, those numbers sound realistic to me. So when you said like in the beginning, it was more just like Instagram videos, like, are you saying like you're getting higher like quality? Like, are you getting the videos directly from people now, or are you getting better quality ones?
Yeah, usually if somebody wants like a commission video or something, they'll record it specifically for the video, like with their iPhone or like their, DSLR or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'm just working with like higher quality footage, which is cool too, because then you can kind of like punch in on it and like blow it up in frame and do all that sort of stuff with it.
So looking through the timeline, it feels safe to say the videos have become increasingly more complex over time, especially lately. Like they're turned into like full on like video game Marvel movie stuff, and not only more complex, but the quality seems to also be significantly better too. Like, is that, like, just speaking to the quality part, is that a mixture of your skills getting better and also technology getting better, or what's happening there?
A little bit of both. So, they started as, you know, obviously just me just ripping stuff off of Instagram, but then it became, I guess that there's obviously definitely a couple things. So I was working on a Mac for a long time. I had this like older model Mac from like 2010 or something like that. And it was becoming such a drag that I was like turning down work because of it, just because of how slow and out of date it was. So I just made the jump to a PC where I could have a little bit more power for less money. Mm-hmm. And which is, you know, obviously something we all like. So that was definitely a part of it, because it allowed me to like really push the 3D stuff and just overall like processing and just the, you know, time spent on each individual video. So that was definitely a big thing. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it definitely was, you know, trying, you know, every video I'm trying something new. So whether it's like learning a new technique through a tutorial or like a new, you know, simulation plugin for like a 3D platform or something like that. So it's a combination of all those different things.
And like, even, you know, like models are one thing, and like your models all, from my layman eye, seem to be really, really good, but you could have a good model, but if your lighting's like really bad and artificial looking, like that ruins it too. And it seems like the lighting's like really spot on a lot too.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I guess from working with other 3D artists, I mean, I'm definitely not a, you know, trained 3D guy. I mean, I'm just like a generalist that just learned from his friends. But yeah, as far as the lighting, yeah, I mean, you know, if you have done any sort of photography, you learn about lighting, and it's no different in a 3D platform. And so if you're, you know, if you're trying to integrate 3D stuff into a scene or like a gym or something like that, I mean, like the Matty Sasser and Eddie Williams video I did, where they have those massive like competition collars on the end of the barbell.
Yes, great.
Like,
yeah.
So I mean, it's stuff like that. Like literally, how do I recreate the environment that they're in? Because, you know, not only those things, you know, chrome, you know, there's like some obvious like reflection there. You have to mimic what the lighting is as well. So, you know, it's just thinking about those things as if you were doing an actual 3D job, for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool.
You know what? It's obvious you don't own the rights to making a sick video edit about weightlifting, but I'm wondering if after you became popular and people still really started to take onto this, have you noticed anyone kind of rip off your idea? Like, has there been other? I don't know of any, but I'm sure you're aware if there is. Is anyone else?
Oh
doing the same thing? I've seen a couple people do it, and actually the people that have done it always say like this was inspired by Snatch and Snacks, which is, you know, I'm not That's
obviously
cool.
not expecting that, but it's pretty cool. I think early on there was this guy that he was like deadlifting or something, and he had like a character from Super Mario or something, but this guy actually made me step my game up, because he was a video game designer, and his 3D work was just solid. Like I'll have to try and find that video, and hopefully if he's listening to this, he can.
Oh, we're sure he is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, watching it, I was like, wow, the texturing of it and the lighting just looks so realistic. And yeah, but again, that was a limitation of the computer that I was working on at the time. I just didn't have the I didn't have the plug-in or the renderer that let me use like a good graphics card. I didn't even have a good graphics card. So, it's little things like that definitely add up.
For sure. And what's that? So it looks like you have like a motion capture suit or something that you use. Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah. So there's a company called Rococo, and they have this, I guess, like consumer friendly motion capture suit, and they just came out with gloves that fit it as well. So you have like motion capture information from the hands as well. And I'm doing like sort of a partial like partnership with them. I'm just like creating some content for their page throughout the year. But yeah, so that I've been using that as well. That's been like kind of a learning curve, but it's been really awesome.
So can you throw the suit on and like kind of go through your motions and it's going to capture your model, like doing exactly what you want? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, definitely. It's built off of, I think it works off of your Wi-Fi signal. And it's like, I think it's really sensitive to, magnets or something like that. So there's some limitations on like where you can use it, and for the most part though, like the capture on it is pretty great. There's obviously some like upper level suits that they're using in Hollywood, but for just a home use motion capture suit, it's awesome.
Are you we saw somewhere maybe Iowa, are you a fellow Midwesterner?
I'm in North Carolina actually.
Okay. So is that where you're from originally then?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite kind of barbecue sauce? We were just talking about Carolina barbecue sauces.
Dude, this is going to be blasphemy. I have never been into North Carolina barbecue.
What? Why not?
I just have never
Too busy editing videos.
Too busy editing videos. I don't know. I just never got into
the barbecue scene.
I just never got into it. I'm more into like Texas barbecue, and I don't know. I'm a brisket guy. Okay. I've just never been
Brisket's
good.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you got your start? Instagram is what popularized first. I see you're on TikTok now. What do you see future wise? Is TikTok an awesome platform for you? How do you look at it?
TikTok is cool. I think there's definitely potential for me to put more stuff related to TikTok, obviously on there, as opposed to like, there's definitely some things I would put on TikTok that I would not put on my Instagram, if that makes sense. Like probably, dance trends where I'm using the motion capture suit or something. I don't know. I think there's potential there, but I've already made such a name in the Instagram world that I'm already getting some work through that, and it's just that it comes down to a time thing. It's just finding time to create original content is difficult when there's like that's like the biggest thing that I struggle with is the split between reaching that level of polish that I already have and trying to make things quickly. But yeah, I'm trying to, it's one of the struggles I'm trying to get through. Maybe more pulled pork would help. Maybe that's what I'm missing.
Yes. Editing fuel.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Tommy, you were talking about some of his other work that you had seen.
Oh, yeah.
Prior
Okay.
to.
Yes.
I was curious
so
about that.
I did hop on your website and I did see, what was it, about 2010? You had worked on some of those Ford commercials that had the heavy use of typography in them.
Oh yeah.
Dude, for me, like that's when I was like just getting done with design school, and I remember at the time being like, Ford's killing it. Like they're the only car company. They're almost one of the only brands that's like going to do a commercial that's like making cool use of type and doing all this stuff. I thought it was such a cool commercial at the time.
Wow.
So to see that,
to
see that
awesome.
in your portfolio, I was like, damn, that's really cool. Like he was involved in that in some way.
Oh, so that was our. I worked at this place called Offspring, and that was like my first staff job, and yeah, we were the studio that did that entire campaign.
And as far as car commercials go, even today, that's still kind of an out there car commercial.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Dennis Leary still does the narration for it. Like, I mean, going on like 11 years strong, he's still narrating all those commercials, and like the vernacular of that stuff has changed a little bit, but I mean, they like continued to come back for more stuff. I mean, obviously agencies will have to, you know, revamp a little bit and then, you know, reapproach it. So they obviously went with like another studio afterwards, but yeah, it was pretty awesome to be a part of that. It's really funny because after we did that, we just became known as like the Type Studio. And
that
so
become like when I think back, like to me, that was such a huge trend for a while there. Is like this whole like moving type that's dropping in and animating. It seemed like so many companies started doing it for a little while there.
Oh yeah. I think what happened was, you remember Stranger Than Fiction, the movie
Will
with
Ferrell?
Yeah, like do you remember the opening title sequence?
Ooh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so that there's a studio called MK12 that did that title sequence, but it was like right when that came out, every studio wanted this like kinetic type, like or type integrated into footage sort of thing. And I mean that around that time that was like a huge trend, and you would just see it everywhere. But yeah, that was like the big sell for that campaign. Yeah,
that's really cool. I just looking through your portfolio. I mean, there's obviously a lot of impressive stuff in there, but that is the one that I feel like I had a personal connection to.
Yeah, that's so crazy that you were in school when that came.
Is it fair to assume that you still drive around a Ford F-150 then?
I wish I did. Like for the amount of time, like I was gonna say that was like, with the exception of last year, that was definitely the craziest job I've ever done in my career. And at the end, we were all kind of like, I mean, I think there were days where we slept in the studio, trying to like knock stuff out. And it was weird because we had just moved into a new space, and we didn't have enough machines for everybody. I had to go so I was living in New York at the time, and I had to go like up to Hell's Kitchen to work in another studio. Like it was such a mess. So by the end of that job, we were like, I mean, shit, man, we should be getting trucks for this whole thing. Like,
roll them out, Ford.
Dennis Leary better.
Just thinking about the Carolinas there, like you got to get over with like Juji Mufu and get some video yourself and do an edit with him. Like he seems like he would be all over that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys are probably familiar with MASH Elite, but Matt, Travis puts on this event. Well, I don't know when the last time. It's been a while, but the MASH Strength Spectacular, it was all like weightlifting and powerlifting and strongman and all that stuff. And Juji came out, and I mean, he had already been like super big on YouTube by this point, so he had his like camera guy with him and all that. But he was doing all the strongman stuff, and like we got a picture together, and he's like super cool dude. It was so like funny because he would just do a backflip on command. Like if there's somebody that wanted, like, he's like, hey man, can I get a picture? Hey, can you do a backflip? Oh, cool.
That's kind of tired.
Yeah.
It's like my 30th backflip.
I just pulled a truck like 100 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we want to do overrated, underrated?
I think so.
Okay. We've got this little game we like to play with every guest, Wes. It's overrated, underrated. We've got a special set of Big West snatching snacks, set of topics handpicked for you.
My God.
You can elaborate as much or as little as you want to on each one. The important thing is to remember that you cannot ride the line. You have to decide if each one is either overrated or underrated. Are you ready to play?
I'm the most indecisive person ever. So
Well, today's different. Today is different. The other thing I was just thinking before I forget to ask, you had mentioned you're into weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting. Do you still participate in that? You still train that way? I was just curious.
do, yeah.
Yeah. We both do powerlifting, so cleaning and jerking and snatching is a little bit out of our comfort zone, but we're familiar.
Awesome. Yeah, I can sort of travel over to the deadlifting every now and then.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
maybe the squat.
Okay. Overrated or underrated Pixar?
God. Right off the bat. I can't say underrated because they're not underrated.
It's tricky saying overrated though, because you know what? I should talk. It's you going. I don't know why I'm talking. It's you.
No, it's all right. God, it sucks because on paper, for me, I have to say overrated because I don't take the time to watch any of them.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah.
You gave yourself an easy out there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, and I know that they're going to be awesome when I watch them, but I don't know.
All right, overrated. That's fair. Okay, underrated or overrated? Cold brew coffee.
I gotta go underrated. I'm a huge cold brew nerd.
Do you have do you make your own, or you?
I make my own.
So what's your process?
So I have an almond milk bag, and I'll grind up 12 ounces. Throw that in there with, let's see, some people what are you supposed to do? Like a 1-4 or a 1-5 ratio. So let's see, we got 12 ounces of grounds to, what is that?
3 ounces or is it the other way around?
It'd be the other way.
Oh, 60 ounces. We'll just say 1-5. The 60 ounces of water. You mix everything up in the bag. You're leaving it in like a toddy or like a crock jar or something, and like put the cover on it. And then just put it in the fridge for 24 hours, and boom, there you go.
That's it.
I gotta get on. I love cold brew, but I never make my own. I gotta get on that.
Oh man, it's for me, it's the easiest. And then like on days when I just want hot coffee, I'll just mix in whatever I usually like cut the cold brew concentrate with. Like I'll do like a 1/3 cup of concentrate with some like a little bit of almond milk and some water, and I'll heat that up, and it tastes like hot chocolate. It's awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay. Overrated or underrated Owen Wilson? And you know where this I assume you're probably familiar where we're getting this reference from.
Yeah. I'm like crying inside.
I mean, because you got to go through like the deep parts of Wedding Crashers and really take all that in. And...
I know. But the parts that I never laugh at Owen Wilson's stuff. You gotta say overrated.
Okay. Like the Stefi Cohen deadlift Owen Wilson video, like what was the inspiration for that? Like what was did that just hit you and you're like, yeah, that'd be funny?
I think for whatever reason, I was like, the Owen Wilson wow thing is still relevant, right? Like it's like that's still a thing, right? Oh, I'll just use that.
Yeah.
And then it just took off.
That's one of the ones that really sticks out to me.
Yeah,
to
me too, because it's such a random feeling concept. Like, but it works so well.
Yeah.
I tried to do something similar with Nicolas Cage, and it just didn't take off the way that I thought it would.
Yeah.
was just trying to do the same thing as the Owen Wilson one, but you can't beat it. That one had already, dude. That one was weird because somebody made a GIF of it on Reddit, and it like blew up, but there was like no sound with it. It was funny because you kind of didn't need the sound.
Just know that's the noise he makes.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Last topic of overrated, underrated. Overrated or underrated frosted donuts?
Frosted donuts. I mean, I'm the one that always goes for the frosted ones, so I'm going to say underrated.
Okay. Do you eat them or just like to utilize them on the ends of barbells?
No, I gotta eat them.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
if there's like a chocolate frosted donut, I'm going for that one before the others for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's good news. You passed overrated, underrated. Great news.
I passed.
Yeah.
We can air this episode, I guess.
Yes. You passed. Success. No, that's great. The other thing I was going to check, I assume we're going to get the friends and family discount on that Massenomics video commission.
It's going to be like similar to kind of like the last 30 minutes of like Marvel Endgame. So we planned the whole thing out.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't take very long.
Yeah, it should
Tanner
be
and I
fine.
write really good notes.
I'll do. I'll be the light grip, the best boy.
Well, okay. We kind of want to pitch you this. We have been working on some Star Wars fan fiction with some offshoots. So we think we have some pretty unique twists on the series. So we'll also run those by you too.
Okay, it's gonna be Mando part 500. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's awesome, Wes. We appreciate you coming on, and that was fun. I was excited about this, and I feel like I understand a lot more about Snatch and Snacks now.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This is awesome.
Where do people find you, get a hold of you? You know, if they got a video idea that they want to hire you for, what's the process for that sort of thing?
Yeah, so you can either DM me on my Instagram, like through Snatch and Snacks, or my email is wesrichardson@gmail.com, and that's also on my Instagram.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, that's good stuff. You the man.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Wes. It was fun.
All right, take care.
Yep. See ya. Bye. Tommy, what do you give him?
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Has he ever thought about putting cool beans on the end of
Cool
a
beans
barbell?
really makes sense though for Wes, since
does.
he's a cold brew guy.
It does. He likes those cold beans.
Yeah. That would be funny. Those who are the actors in the Cool Beans? It's
Andy Samberg.
Yeah, Andy Samberg on that of a bar going Cool Beans. Yeah. Well, and you could pick a lot of different ones there. He does
There's
a lot
to work with.
Yeah,
there.
Cool Beans.
Wow.
That was Cool Beans.
That was fun.
That was different than our typical interview we've had for a while. That was fun to find out about something a little different.
Learn something a little outside the direct world of strength.
Right. But still parallel to
very parallel
the world. That was good.
You could
stuff.
say precisely parallel.
Exactly
parallel.
Non-perpendicular.
No perpendiculars here.
Yes. Okay. Well, that was good. Do we have anything else that we had to cover today, Tommy?
Well, we had a drop last
we did have
last
a drop,
week.
didn't we? We sold out of the bacon and beer bells Jonathan Oldham limited edition
People like
flag.
their limited edition flags.
Those flew off the shelf, didn't they?
Went faster than we would have ever guessed.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Faster than Jonathan speeding through the air.
Yes. Then we had the varsity tee, the Massenomics tee, and the 8-bit party time tee. All of them selling good. Most sizes you could still snag one in though. So hop on, and if you haven't seen those, go check those out.
Yeah, get on those. Otherwise, if you're listening early in the week, we are running basically our only and biggest sale of the year.
Our 1776 sale, but it ends the 5th, right?
What's that, Monday?
Yeah.
So yeah, you early listeners, you get rewarded by hearing from us. Also, if you're an early listener, you probably saw on our email list or Instagram. So, but yeah, go buy something. We have a lot of items on sale for $17.76, which we basically don't really put stuff on sale.
I think we've got almost like 12 tees at that price.
Yeah, there's a lot of mismatched sizes.
Yep.
So hopefully your size is in stock on the item you want, but get on that because
Tonto, jump on it.
Because it's your chance to save. And it's the 4th weekend, so
party hardy.
That's right. Lift hard, live easy, baby.
We said it best. Lift hard, live easy. Did you know today's show is also brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements? Yeah. Tommy, do you know what's in your supplements?
Yes, I do.
Good. You must use Fusion Sports Performance because if you do, you always will know what's in your supplements.
Obvious looking at me that I'm a Fusion man over here.
Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients in their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym, build muscle, and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low or no carbs depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate of some sort, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. It's actually chocolate fudge, not just chocolate of some sort. Most other orders are shipped
sort of chocolate fudge?
Some sort of chocolate fudge of some sort. Most orders are shipped within 1 business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to fusionsp.net, and I believe, I know discount code MASS is still working, MASS in all caps, and I believe it's still for 30% off. A huge 30% off your order. Anything you order at fusionsp.net, 30% off, code MASS.
That's massive, Tanner.
That's our sponsors. Go to our website, buy all that stuff we talked about. Make sure to like us on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Let me read a couple because I queued a couple up.
All right.
Before I forget to.
Wow.
Like I haven't been reading these.
Jeez, the stage just keeps getting better.
From Andy Tuck 99, cool beans, he says, and that's it.
Speaking
Sometimes
my
that's all you need.
Yep.
This next
Straight
one
and to the point.
Yes, this next one from 300th caller. I accept my prize of lifetime supply of expensive shorts as a 300 caller. I assume he thinks he was the 300th reviewer. He might have been. These are from back in January. I'm playing a little catch up. Yeah.
I was going to say his timing's way off, but that would make sense then.
This next one is from Big David. He says, if I had to sum the podcast up, it would be cool beans. There are many products out there that tell you how to get strong. This podcast helps you stay strong and furthermore, use your strength. Listen to a few episodes, buy some merch, and you will see all your lifts go up. If you enjoy being on the wrong side of history, lifting hard and living easy, or just want to be part of an inside joke or two, this is the podcast for you. Amen. Wrong side of history. Underrated inside joke in the Massenomics world, if you ask me.
Underrated.
Last one here is from Avenger429, how to get introduced into Massenomics. 5 stars. For those that have attempted to listen to the Massenomics podcast but had a hard time getting into it, can't imagine that's anybody really.
There's no learning curve here.
Below are the instructions on how to get in on this fantastic podcast. 1, pick an episode with your favorite guest in it. 2, fast forward 30 minutes in to get past the banter and find when they first call the guest. 3, enjoy section with guests in it. 4, follow Massenomics on social media. 5, gain curiosity on what all of the inside jokes are about on Massenomics social media page. 6, binge listen to all of Massenomics podcasts. 7, laugh out loud at all jokes on Massenomics social media and podcasts and feel like a part of something bigger than yourself. 8, try cooking a LaCroix in the oven. 9, when LaCroix explodes and wife yells at you, remember this to share with your Massenomics friends. Best podcast out there.
That's like a Brian McKnight review. 1, you take the podcast on. 2,
it is like that.
1, skip to 30 seconds. 2, I forgot what the next one was.
Yeah,
but that's good.
That's
he's got a point there.
Yeah, that's very good.
The full process.
So you go leave us a review too. We're on the road to 400 reviews right now. We'd love to get you leaving us a review, and then sign up to be a supporting member of the show if you really like it. It's been influx of supporting members.
Kind of trending at the moment.
Yes, people are just hopping on the
doing what they can
memberships
to get that thing to the moon.
No, we're taking these supporting memberships all the way to the moon.
And the question is, When we're on the moon, do you want to be with us or do you want to be stuck on Earth with everyone else?
I think you want to be here. That's why you want to be a friend of the podcast and sign up to be a supporting member.
Yeah.
Tommy, where do they find you at on Instagram?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird. You can also follow Massenomics on TikTok. We do have a TikTok.
That is a thing. You can do that.
If you're into that sort of thing, go ahead. But make
if you're on TikTok, you should just follow it.
I suppose.
If you're there, you might as well.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can follow Massenomics at Massenomics on Instagram.
See ya.